morning all, welcome back to Sew Granny Sew and day 8 of our Valentine's Day quilt. It is starting to come together nicely. We only have today and one more block to go until you've seen all the different blocks we're having in it. We will have to go back through and finish making our extra hearts, our extra hugs, and our extra kisses to fill our full 16 blocks. But with the letter B, we are making that with kind of a purplish pinkish color. So we are going to need a total of 32 of our background fabric that are 2.5 by 2.5 inch square, and a total of 10 of our colored fabric that are also 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. We are going to start off by making 6 half square triangles. So we will need 6 of each color, and we will set the rest aside. So to start them off, you're going to flip your background color to the back, and you're just going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner. Sometimes this background color is really hard to tell the difference from front and back here. Once we have that line drawn on, we're going to take one of our colored squares, we're going to place it on top, line it up really good. And we're going to place a pin on both sides of that line far enough away that our presser foot can get through there. And we're going to bring it to the sewing machine, and we're just going to sew right down that center line that we drew. So I'm going to go ahead and get all 6 of these marked out and pinned together and get them sewn up. And then I will meet you back here. So we have all of our half square triangles sewn down that center line. So now we're just going to take our ruler, find the 1/4 inch mark, and lay that 1/4 inch mark lined up with the line that we sewn. We're just going to cut that down at a 1/4 inch away from that seam. So we're going to go ahead and do that to all of them. Okay, once we have them all trimmed down, we're just going to finger press them open to the darker side. Once we have them all finger pressed open, we're going to take those to the ironing station, and we're just going to press those flat. Once we have all of our squares ironed flat, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay out the square. We are once again going to do a frame of six across and 6 up and down. So while we're laying this block out, I wanted to talk a little bit about why we are not doing this with strips. Okay, for starters, you can adjust the size of this quilt block, the size of your letters. If you're using the smaller squares like this, if you start off with a 1.5 inch square and make a smaller one, the same way I'm showing you how to do the larger one like this, you can make your block smaller without changing anything from this pattern of each letter. Secondly is, sometimes we don't have patterns, and for you to sit there and do all the math out of how big you need a strip and stuff every time you go to sew a letter, it's a lot more work than just cutting a simple same size square. And when you have the different pieces, such as your slant and your V, you just add a half square triangle. On your X's, you're just going to add a snowball. So it's the heart is just half square triangle. So it's so much easier to do it with a base block than it is to try to figure out what size strip you need on each one. I think we've got a total of 2 that we're going to use strips on in here for the letters. So once you get your outside frame done, you're just going to run 2 down. Of your colored on both sides. And then in the center right there will be your white or your background, whatever you're using. And then down here, we're going to use our half square triangle and then a white. And on this side will be the same. And then down here, you'll use the half square triangle again with the colored facing, of course, upwards. And then up here, you're going to use the half square triangle with the colored facing downwards. So then you have your letter V. So just as we did with all the other blocks, we're just going to flip row 1 over onto row 2, 3 onto 4, and 4 onto 5. So we'll go ahead and get that done. Once we have that all flipped over, we're going to pin on the side that we're going to sew. So that would be this bar to the right side. It depends on how you flip yours. And we're going to pin them all. However, when we get to these ones that have that seam, don't forget we need to line up that seam in there. So we're just going to line up this seam with this seam. Right at the corner. Now line up the rest of your block. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of them pinned together. Once we have our blocks all pinned, we're just going to pick them up from the top of the block and go to the bottom and stack them up. Then we're going to bring them to the sewing machine and we're just going to hold them. So one right after another, put a 1/4 inch seam in there. Then we'll come back, iron them flat, and then I will meet you back here. So we have all of our rows sewn together in 3 sections. So now we're just going to go ahead and flip one section onto the middle. We're going to line those up and pin those into place. Okay, we'll bring those to the sewing machine, put a 1/4 inch seam in there all the way along. We'll come back, iron those open, and then we'll add this row to the middle as well. There's a 1/4 inch seam all the way along that, and I'll iron those flat, and then I will bring you back here. So we have all of our rows sewed together. We did iron them in opposite directions, one going one way, the other going the next, and you do that all throughout your block. That way we can nest our seams in good. So we're just going to take our bottom row and flip it up on that row. We're going to put our seams together in the middle there. We're going to nest those in and pin that together. And we're going to do that all the way along. And we're going to do the same with the next row. And then also with the bottom 2 rows. So once we have all of our rows pinned together, we're going to go along and take a 1/4 inch seam along all the pinned edges. We'll come back, we'll iron those open, and then we'll connect the 3 sections together just in the same fashion that we've done these. So I will get this block sewed together and I will meet you back here. We have our block all sewn together and ironed flat. So on the bottom, because we have really thick seams there where all of them meet up with the V in there, you do want to make sure you're ironing them open. Up here I didn't bother because there's not a big, it's laid pretty flat. So now we're just going to take our 12.5 inch ruler. We're going to put it on there. And we're going to line up our diagonal line once again with the peak of both corner squares. Making sure that we are on the fabric all the way around. And we're going to go ahead and trim that down on all 4 sides. So there is our finished block. So all we have left now is the letter E, which I will go ahead and get that one out hopefully yesterday as well, so we can start next week by starting in on our stashing and getting our blocks put together. As always, guys, if you found this video useful, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we'd love to have you here at Sew Granny Sew. Thanks all. Have a good day. Bye.